I cannot sit in the National Security Council and insult the Inspector General in public. Na tunakaa na yeye kwa National Security Council. Nimupeleke kwa public, kwa matanga. Kutusi yeye kwa matanga. Na ni Inspector General wa nchi yetu. Na yeye tunakaa na yeye kwa National Security Council. Na sijaenda kumuuliza hapo kwa National Security Council ili jambo lilifanyika namna gani. Alafu niende kwa matanga kumutusi yuko. Because some people have decided to stoop too low to a point of pettiness and desperation, mimi siwezi kuenda hapo. Ninaheshimu katiba. I will work and I will remain restrained. Lakini nataka kuambia wenzangu katika usalama, tufanye kazi ile tunatakiwa kufanya. We have a role to play and we will play it. We will do our part.
The biggest threat that this country can face is if the police service is partisan or responds to political interests.
Huyu IG akumbuke, yule IG alikuwa mbele yake pale mbeleni, alipelekwa mpaka Hague kwa sababu alitumika vibaya, polisi walitumika vibaya.
You will squarely be held responsible if the police service ceases to be a professional service and becomes a youth wing for a political party or a political outfit or a political side. You will have nobody to blame.
Deputy President William Ruto speaking there about the police, the National Police Service, and then Kositanyi is specifying Inspector General, and CS Matiang'i is saying that you cannot be attacking the Inspector General, yet you sit at the National Security Council together. And I presume he's talking about the DP who sits in the National Security Council. But Senator Halwale, of course, a lot has been going on, especially during the by-elections of 4th of March, when some chaos were witnessed in some parts of Nakuru County, as well as in Western Kenya. So when you look at this, has it reached that point to warrant the comments coming from the DP and Kositanyi there that the police is being used for political gains?
I don't think what the Deputy President is saying there, he was speaking for himself. He was speaking for good governance. The Deputy President was articulating the way the Constitution would expect the IG to serve the country. And I believe the President shares the same thinking. I don't think the President would want to be the President of a republic where the police is being used to fix politics. Just to borrow from the statement by Richard here, Richard has said we must fix our politics. We fixed our politics using the 2010 Constitution, when we provided that cabinet secretaries and other civil servants will not take part in politics. And you can see Matiang'i there clearly playing politics in public. Chunjuri.
How so?
Oh yes, you've heard him there. What?
What in that statement is political?
Let me just flow and then I'll come to that. Chunjuri, we hear, in quotes, was relieved because he was participating in politics. If Matiang'i is not playing politics, then what he has said about the IG sitting in the same committee with whoever is blaming him applies to him, to the extent that he cannot purport as a CS to respond to the Deputy President in public. He would have to use the other avenue, which includes the fact that they sit in cabinet together. I mean, the President and the Deputy President are the ones who looked for the votes to form government. Then they employed people. The people who they have employed now are lecturing them in public.
It's interesting because, Senator Halwale, just a moment. It's interesting because the CS is saying you cannot be attacking the Inspector General while you sit in the same committee or the same council, so he's someone that you can meet there, and you're saying that he should not be saying what he's saying here, but
because
say it in
the DP is justified in saying the things he said.
That is
but is there anything wrong in what he said?
That's called double speak. Yes, what is wrong? What is wrong is to pretend that the issue raised by the deputy president
need to respond that one
is
without being
not
rushed.
a matter of grave national concern. To allow the police to have the latitude to do what they did in London Ward, to do what they did in Kapchai and what they did in Matungu, you are working towards 2022 general election that will make the post-election violence of 2007, 2008 look like a wedding party.
No, excuse me now.
So who is... I thought the AG is an independent office. Who do you think is controlling him?
As far as we are concerned, and by we I mean the holoi poloi, sisi watu wadogo, is that the impunity...
You're not small.
Yes, the impunity,
but would you want that not to get a response? What did you say?
Sure,
no, you will respond.
You are allowing
he will
him
give you.
to work on that.
You will respond.
Informing the public.
You will respond.
Yes, the impunity being wielded by the IG, completely with support of Matiang'i, suggests that Matiang'i is driving the police. That's it.
Honorable Maure.
No, I think, actually what he is saying, I did sociology when he was doing medicine. There's something called cognitive dissonance. He knows the truth, he's just twisting it, I don't know, for whatever he wants to achieve. When you see the deputy president condemning the servants or the civil servants, that he is their boss, I think there's something terribly wrong that you cannot justify under any pretense. When they are attacked, the person who is the CS is supposed to defend them. Now, when he has defended them, he purports that Matiang'i is doing politics. No, it is the wrong behavior by the deputy president Matiang'i is responding to. Because when he sits in that cabinet, when he sits in that National Security Council, he is supposed to correct those things there. Now, when he comes to cry to us, to the public, hati kuna shida na hii police, they are misbehaving, anataka tumusaidie na njia gani?
Can I?
Go ahead, Honorable Nyonke.
Let me tell you, first of all, Honorable Boni, I respect you quite a lot, and you are my friend. And brother. In London Ward, you people won, whatever the circumstances, but you were beaten in Kapuchai, hands down. You were beaten in Matungu, hands down. Even you guys accept the way things are sometimes. There was no role. I was in Kapuchai. There was absolutely no role that the police held by stopping certain candidates to support or not to support another candidate. All that the police were doing is doing their job. Most of your colleagues who are my friends were over trying to dish out money where the voters were. And basically, it is the voters who are chasing them. The police were saving your colleagues from the wrath of the voters. Because the strategy was dish out the money. And I'll tell you, Boni, to me, UDA did well. But you see, for you to expect that you're going to come down and run roughshod over Weta, who's your friend, even though you are not with him, and also my deputy party leader, my party, Ford Kenya, did very well. They had a by-election in Ukambani. They did very well. These are challenges that are political. They have nothing to do with the administration or the police. Number two, when the deputy president of our country says, we will hold you responsible, we will hold you responsible for whatever that is happening to the police. What are you talking about holding us responsible? Threats. Who is he holding responsible? And he is supposed to be the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, where his president is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Who is he saying? You know, you are in the same government. You are actually telling your CS Interior, your man in charge of security and everything, that you will hold him responsible, including the police. And yet, you know very well, Bonnie, and that's why, Sam, please forgive me when I say this. Me, I'm happy the way Jubilee you are behaving. You used to beat us up all the time when we are running for election. Now you are beating yourselves. You know, now you are learning. When Orengo says that, you see, revolutions will eat their own. Now you understand that now I want you people now in Jubilee to fight so that we have a better government tomorrow, so that we have a true democracy. Because when you used to beat us up, we used to complain when we were in ODM, and this opposition lead, when we were in NASA, they tell us Namtadu. Now even us, we are like Namtadu.
All right, I want Senator Kasanga to come in on this, but first, there are some questions that have been raised by Honorable Maore and Honorable Nyonka, and I don't want you to lose them. Maybe you could respond, because he says that he asks what does the DP want us to do, and he's also asking about what specifically are you saying the police did that really affected your cause of politics?
Pardon?
Senator Halwale, I'm asking the question before Senator Kasanga can comment on this. There are questions that have been raised by Honorable Maore and Honorable Nyonka, specifically him saying, what does the Deputy President want us to do when he's complaining about officers that are under him? We need to look at the structure of government. And then secondly, what exactly did the police do that hampered your cause of action, cause of politics in Nakuru and other areas?
I want to congratulate the IG. After pressure from the public and the general outcry, he actually took action against those police officers. Those police officers who participated in the atrocities that we saw, he's taking administrative action against them. So at least what the Deputy President raised and what the general public raised, something is being done about it by the IG, and that is good. Number two, if what they did and what took place is not real, how come we have actual court cases? We have a former, not a former senator, we have a senator who has appeared before court. He has been released on a cash bail of 2.5 million shillings. And the cumulative bond that has been given to him and his associates is a whooping 12 million shillings. The courts have seen there is a problem. So that is the way to go. We know in London ward, a DO, I don't know whether you know, yes. A DO in the London ward, I think he's facing disciplinary action. It means the issues that I'm raising here, the issues that the Deputy President spoke to are real.
But how do you specifically target the Inspector General if action is already being taken? Well,
he's the custodian of security.
If he's addressing it, then is he the problem? Because it appears like as if he's under political instructions when you raise these questions.
If you go to as little an institution as a primary school, if something goes wrong in that primary school, you don't ask the school messenger, you ask the headmaster.
Okay.
Now, you ask the headmaster. You don't go looking for the small chaps who have no idea how the place is being run. And now, finally, on the issue that is being brought up again and again by my brother Maore, on the issue of respect, I think the Deputy President is no different when he says, we can't condone this. He's saying in the same tone that the President said, even in my office of the President, there are corrupt people there. That does not mean that the President is fighting his own government. He's saying it as it is and as it should not be.
All right, Senator Kasanga, there's a by-election in Machakos that is on Thursday. They will be electing the next senator. There are several candidates, including UDA is represented, Wiper is represented, Ford Kenya is supporting UDA alongside ANC and KANU. And
no, Ford Kenya is supporting Wiper.
Yes. Ford Kenya is supporting Wiper alongside ANC and KANU. That's what I mean. Yes. So when you see the scenes that we've seen in London and other parts of Western Kenya, have you witnessed such a thing in Machakos?
First, let me just make a comment that the senator had made, that if the Inspector General indeed is dealing with some of the complaints that have been brought, I think that is sufficient to say then there's no politics being played, but rather that the IG is indeed dealing with the things and therefore is non-partisan. I think it is fair to say that. Our experience first in Kitise, that is in Makueni, we didn't have such instances. And whenever issues were raised, to the police on the ground, they would deal with them with a lot of fairness across board, whoever brings up an issue. So we've not seen such scenes so far in Machakos. It has been fairly peaceful. And we are just worried, of course, about during the polling day, because the things we saw in Matugu and the others were happening on the day of casting the vote especially. Yeah. And we are worried now that, you know, other forces will come into Kambani where we are largely peaceful to bring, you know, those bad practices there. I think one of the things I can tell you as Wiper, because we are the front runners and we are very confident, we've told our voters that we should go with a lot of peace when we are going to cast our vote. Tuende na amani tupige kura na tupige kura vizuri. Because, you know, again, it's about how you also, you know, speak to the citizens about this. It should not always be seen to always be very political or very acrimonious, or it's a battlefield all the time. You know, I think it's also how we leaders are projecting, you know, to our citizens. So this is a conversation we've had largely in Machakos, and we expect that we'll have a very peaceful election. Okay. And we are hoping, of course, we don't have outsiders coming on the day of the poll to come and man, you know, to come and dish money. And dish money and do other things.
I don't know what you mean with the outsiders, but all the same.
To be careful and watch out for such people.
How is that alliance, so that we exit from this, how is that alliance going of Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, and Gideon Moi? And what is their idea beyond this?
It's going on well, and with time, with due course, of course, you're going to see where it is that we are going. But at the moment, I can't say too much about it. It's now about pulling together our ideas and, you know, our muscle, so that at least first we win this by-election, and then beyond that we shall see and we shall make comments more.
How's it going? You come from Fort Kenya.
Yes.
How is that alliance going? Because you've won Kabuchai and Matungu.
Yeah, it's true. But we are not chest thumping. We are cautiously optimistic that the fortunes out of that, those by-elections will give us the momentum to move forward. Okay. But again, for us, the approach we are taking as a party, and I really thank Honorable Moses Wetangula, because he was always engaging and we are always discussing. We would want to go slow and wait towards either whether we are going to have BBI at a referendum or whether it's not there. We would want to start forming alliances concretely. Right now we are tuning anybody who would want to form an alliance with us. And we are open-minded, by the way. We don't take politics personally. We are open-minded. Whoever that is willing to accept to work with us, we will work with them. Whoever that is willing to accept our position in terms of certain issues which we may lay on the table, we are willing to negotiate. Okay. And we hope that it will bear fruits as we move forward.
All right. I have just 2 minutes to read the feedback that you've been sharing with us at Citizen TV Kenya. Tam Gituko. The hashtag to use is Daybreak. I don't know if they are ready so that we can read what Kenyans have been saying. We start with Njue Dixon. You're saying that this is seen from far. The more we complain that fuel prices has risen, now it's the time you will see even a normal Mwananchi buying a single bag of unga at 200 shillings. This is just a start. Timothy, you said that government has gone, well, with opposition and captured other arms such as parliament and judiciary. No one is questioning the government. Therefore, government of the day can borrow left, center, and right. Why not right, left, center? They can spend anyhow, like bribing MCAs to pass BPI. We're on our own. That is Mutheki. Isaac Muthosi, Jubilee Political Party won't be available come 2022 general election. The pressure inside is higher than the pressure outside the party. Tuju is the catalyst. President Uhuru Kenyatta is the petrol. But the fuel prices are so high. DP Ruto is the fire. It will burst out loud. I don't know whether one Mokomori agrees. Jacob Abera, you said the Jubilee Party has tried to create strong party ideologies like Communist Party of China, but only we found them created its sun-built. We have seen disciplinary actions, but ends in court shelves as injunctions. And then D. Bongo, you said that Mahore is funny. When things are working well, they are talking about a super minister who has usurped the roles of the deputy president. But when it comes to deaths, he says he is part of the mess. That is the DP. Everyone knows the DP was sidelined after handshake. That is Bongo. And that is our time on this conversation. Mokomore, will Jubilee Party be there in 2022? Will you field the presidential candidate?
No.
I think we have deliberately talked about the BBI, and then thereafter we will see what happens.
So you don't know at the moment?
Have I said I don't know?
Will Jubilee Party field a presidential candidate in 2022?
2022, we have not, it's far away.
No, it's not. It's 16 months away.
It is far away in the sense that if you are saying you are not into politics of 2022, then I sit here and tell 2022 what we are going to be doing, how to be following in the trap of the party of my friend.
You're deputy party leader.
Yes.
That's our time. And thank you so much, Senator Boni Halwale, Honorable Richard Onyonka, Senator Sylvia Kasang.